Yeah, now we are live. Yes. Okay, we are live. So welcome back to another live show on WPL, and this might be the wrap up show you can call of this season WPL.
No, this is the ultimate wrap-up show.
No, there is no might anymore. This is the ultimate wrap up show of this year's WPL. So yesterday, as we all know, another heartbreaking final for Delhi Capitals as Mumbai Indians defeated them and back their second title. But overall, in today's
I was
show,
so sad seeing Marizanne kept crying because
yeah, it
during
was so
this show,
heartbreaking to see.
yeah,
Yeah,
I saw her right in front of me crying.
it was so heartbreaking. And you should have seen when she was walking past and Jemimah came and just
mm,
patted her,
mm.
Patted.
and then Alice Capsey was taking her. If you had seen the look at Titash's face, also she was looking like this. And I'll be very honest with you, somewhere I was happy seeing that, and I'll tell you why. Because you want role models like that. When you
Yes,
lose, it should hurt you. If it
yes.
doesn't, you will not give your 100%. Why does Marizane Cap give her 1000% every single match? Because that's what it means to her. And someone like Tita, who has a lot of game time left in her, to have that example, this is what WPL is about. I mean,
Exactly. I think it shows the passion. After playing for
correct.
so many years, still
And think
Madison
of
Cap
this
holds that passion.
Naman and Snehashi. This is not for South Africa. Had it
No?
been for South
Yes?
Africa,
South African.
Yes.
you
I
understand
have
it's a
seen that.
different season.
I have seen that after the final. I have seen her doing that. And it is understandable that you are playing for the country. You just lost two
Exactly.
back to back World Cup finals. But it is for a franchise cricket for third in a
When you
row.
lose for your country and when
Yes.
Hmm.
you cry or you feel sad, and I'm not someone who's saying that crying is good or somebody who's not crying
Mm.
is not
It's
sad
just
is
the
not what I'm
emotions.
saying.
Yes, yes. Mm.
What I'm actually trying to put out here is it's quite obvious that if you lose for your when you're playing for your country, if you lose, the sadness is
It's a
understandable. But it is when you lose for your franchisee
franchise.
and you have that equal amount of emotions, that
Yes.
shows how much the game means to you.
Yeah, you
So I
care
Exactly.
think
about it.
her going near that pitch and crying, and even say for example someone like Jemmy, someone like I think Titash, and there were other young kids who were they were just peeping there to see if she's okay. That I think is a huge lesson for each one of them.
I mean,
Yes,
Saurav Ganguly
absolutely.
also came and patted her. He also looked dejected. Meg Lanning also wiped off her tears in the initial procession.
But with Saurav Ganguly, I just have one thing to say, Naman. Don't mind me saying that. And if Saurav ever gets this clip, I'm sure he'll not mind. But Snehashish and I have been to his house. I have been to his house quite a number of times to take interviews and all. That is his general expression. It's very rarely that you will see him having
No, but
any other.
no, but I what I saw was he was standing right in front of me. He was talking to I think the coaching staff only, and he was
Mm.
dejected. He was like nodding off, like in
Yeah, that
disbelief
he had
that this
started
happened.
doing, I think, since the time Shafali got out. Every
Mm.
time the camera was on him, you could see he was telling something, to one of the coaching staff, and he would be shaking his head because he had realized that everything that they had planned had gone
Was falling
extreme,
apart.
exactly the opposite way.
Exactly. And what Tushadi mentioned about Saurabh Ganguly's expression, it is absolutely true. Before taking a single picture, Tushadi have to say 5 times to Dada, Dada, please smile. Smith, please smile. Then,
Yeah, because Naman, when you have pictures with players, you like show it off to your friends, right? Oh, so if I've written that, if some friend is like,
yeah,
what's up with you, and I've written, oh, you know what, I'm at Saurav's place. We are taking his interview, and then ultimately you take a picture and his face is
yes,
like. So my friends are like, he's not happy with you. He's not happy that you guys are there. So I'm like, no, he's happy. No, he's not happy. So I'm like,
This
Sauravh,
is
please smile when you take pictures.
this is his usual self.
yes, yes. Okay, but the main focus of this live show is the WPL, the brand. I think it's on a high. it's a success because the way fans have engaged this time around. As Naman shared the visuals of yesterday from the final, that from Brabant, that so many people, 1 hour, 2 hours back, before the final, they were already in the ground and all. So it's so good to see that
Give me
people are
1 minute,
engaged.
I'm coming, huh?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm continue. So it's so good to see that people are engaging and all. And I think with Naman also, I think the same thing has happened with me. Trishadi has happened. Many people have questioned us. How the WPL is going on, which team is doing well, how she is not playing, or why she is not playing. So that is the change that I think we all three have observed this time around in WPL. That people have showed that interest more and more compared to the first two seasons. So that's a success for a brand for WPL. But the main focus of WPL has been, I think, from the inception, that the growth of Indian women's cricket. So why the WPL was planned, to help to grow the Indian women's cricket, to give opportunity Indian women's cricket to share the dressing room with top global cricketers like from Australia, South Africa, England, because they are top international cricketers who has already proved themselves on big stages like World Cups and all. So Naman, that is the topic of ourselves because a World Cup is approaching, a 50 over World Cup is approaching, and that is also in India. So considering that it is a 50 over, we all know that this is the most suited format for Indian. I think for irrespective of male and women cricket, I think for India it is the most suited format. So I think when the World Cup is happening, in later this year in India, it is expected that India will do well. But for that, you need your top players to be fully fit physically and mentally, and obviously technically also. So I think from that perspective, I think in this show we will discuss how the top Indian players have performed throughout this WPL. Though some big names have not managed to fulfill their potential, but we will discuss one by one. So I will start with the RCB captain Smriti Mandhana. And I think Trishadi will be the better person to start with it. So Trishadi, Smriti Mandhana, the captain Smriti Mandhana, because if you know the Indian setup also, the discussion is going on and on that she might be the next keeper, after Harmanpreet Kaur tenure, and obviously the batter because as an individual batter also, I think she started the tournament brilliantly, but as the tournament progressed, she didn't look that good. So how do you see Smriti Mandhana doing in this WPL? How did she manage?
Look, I think her numbers will clearly tell you, and in fact, you have written a piece today
Yes,
on how the Indian players have done. So, how much have you rated Smriti?
I did. I think six out of
Six.
10. Six
Six
out of
out of
10.
10. That's a lot of marks. Oh my god, that's a
No,
lot of
for
marks.
for
But
participation only five. For
huh? Huh?
participation only five.
No, my only question is: have you not studied in Calcutta University? What is this
I
humor?
have studied under Macaut University, and there it is very hard to fail.
That is why. There you go. But I am a typical Calcutta University student, so I will say, um, if I have to rate her captaincy, then let me
Yes.
put it forward. A lot of people. This is the best part, by the way, Naman and Snehashish. After
Mm.
Harman and Co. won the trophy yesterday, my article on Harman's leadership got so many views because everyone was quoting and saying, "Look, they have won. The Mumbai Indians have won, and how dare you called her a bad captain?" So just to clear my stand, she's a bad captain. Uh, you know, because captaining Haley Matthews, captaining
That's Brand.
Nat
Natural
Brand,
brand.
Amelia Kirk,
Shabnam Ismail.
Shabnam Ismail is completely different, and this is completely different. When it comes to Smriti, that is my bigger problem. That a Smriti has an Ellis Perry.
Mm.
Smriti has she has
Wareham. Georgia Wareham.
Wareham, she has Kim Garth, and the
Yes.
best part is all
Daniel
those
White.
three names.
Mm.
Daniel White. See, Daniel White, Ellis Perry, both of them are
Wareham.
extremely experienced.
Mm. Mm.
Wareham, Kim Garth, and Ellis Perry are from the same team.
Yes.
So, ideally, managing these people and working with them should be easier for Smriti. But
Yes.
we have seen, I think the biggest problem with Smriti Mandana, the person probably itself, and person, I'm not talking about personal life. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the batter as well as the captain. moment Smriti is under pressure, she just cannot find a way to come out of it. For
Hmm.
example, when Smriti started the WPL, she had of course come from a very very successful year, so she
Exactly.
started
Hmm.
off with that confidence. But the
Yes.
moment that confidence was cut down, she never came back.
Hmm.
And not even bad balls, like somehow somewhere in her mind it's almost like, if I get pace, I'm gonna try and manufacture shots because I will get out in spin bowling.
Yes.
Now the same Smriti Mandhana will play the same bowlers in ODIs and score centuries. Flabbergasting. I think that the T20 format
Hmm.
puts a lot of pressure on her, which she's
Hmm.
not able to take. And that is why whatever runs she has scored, even after that, I think I'll give her a.
Yes. Sound. Sound is gone. Yes. Yes. I think Trishati, there's a network issue. But Naman, you can you add something on that? Until Trishati comes back.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Trisha just put it forth very honestly that there is a part of us that we have seen. I mean, Smriti Mandhana struggling under pressure, and she has this season. It was something of that. When the team was already out in the last match, she
Hmm.
got back to her best, and yeah, I mean, Trisha came and
And gone again.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it has been a below par season for her, and it is something that she needs to evolve if she wants to like handle a bigger responsibility in Team India after Harmanpreet Kaur leaves. I mean, everyone is seeing her as the next captain,
Hmm.
and
Yes. Yes.
no one else, I think, has been groomed at this level like Smriti
Exactly.
has been till now. So, I mean, it's obvious at this point that Smriti will take over after Harmanpreet, but how well she is.
Network issue.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah. So these tournaments, these WPL tournaments, franchisee leagues this gives you a chance to uh, bring your best game, evolve as a player, take knowledge in from those international players that have done sublimely well at their at for their teams like Elise Perry or other players, whoever. So that is what Smriti Mandhana should be extracting from this tournament. And yeah, it was a hot and cold tournament for her this season. I mean, she didn't reach her potential. For me, also, I mean, I would rate her 5. She did well in the first game and started
Yes.
well. Then in the last game, she showed what actually her
Mhm.
potential is. But then in
Yes,
the
absolutely.
middle matches in Bangalore, especially their home ground, uh, like Harmanpreet has Haley Matthews and all of those big stars. Smriti Mandhana, when the bigger stars, or except Elise Perry and a few others, were taken away from her, she just captivated under the pressure.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll wait for Tushadi, to come back and complete the comment that she was going on. But till then, Naman, another player, Shrutimanda is done. Deepti Sharma. I think one of the most important player in the Indian setup, veteran, all-rounder and all. We all know how important, she is. Not on, over the years and obviously going forward also. But I think this year captaincy duties came. Okay, let's wait. I think Tushadi is here. Okay.
Fine.
Done?
Yeah.
Finally. Yes, continue, Tushar. Then we'll move to the another play.
Yeah. What did? Where was I actually? I completely forgot.
Shruti Mandana, captaincy,
Ca-
and
Under
Yeah.
pressure, performing under
under
pressure.
pressure. Mm.
So under pressure, this the captain, the batter, both is not able to deliver well. So that's why I would say 4.5. Having said
Yes,
that, if you talk directly about the World Cup, I'm not 100% sure if this same problem is going to happen in the World Cup because the format is different.
exactly.
But what
Mm.
I would be worried about is after the World Cup going forward in the T20 format is something that
Exactly.
that is worry. That is a sense of worry because Smriti being the vice captain and the future captain, you're not going to drop her from the team, right?
Yes.
So then she has to find her way around how to get back in form during the tournament.
Yes, so that's a worrying sign that needs to be improved. Let's see how it goes. But moving on, Naman, Deepti Sharma, we are talking about that. Deepti Sharma, important player for Indian setup. Absolutely, in this season she got the captaincy duties in place of Elisa Haley because she was not there. So 2024 WPL season she was the player of the tournament with the bat with the ball. She did pretty well. But this season she failed as a captain, she failed as a batter, she failed as a bowler. So how do you see? Do you think the captaincy
Absolutely. I think
duty,
Deepti.
put an effect?
Yeah, definitely. The captaincy duties put her down. I feel I mean, she showed her willy self that she is as a bowler,
Mm.
utilizing her in instances like in the case of Smriti Mandhana when she came and bowled and got her wicket early on. So at those points, she has shown how willy she is and how dependable of an all-rounder she has. She has already shown that in past seasons and for Indian setup as well. The issue is that captaincy of a team which consists of players like Sophie Eccleston and others, it takes a I mean it takes a lot of efforts to manage these players, to accommodate yourself, to understand what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and it takes a toll on you. You focused on that, you like leave other parts of your abilities a little astray, and it gets affected. So that is what happened with Deepti, I think, this season. If Elisa Healy comes back, I hope does, and she takes the captaincy at UP Warriors. We can see Deepti Sharma back at her best in WPL.
Yes. Tushadi?
Um, I'm not 100% sure that it's captaincy alone which kind of bogged Deepti down. I just think that it is also the fact that UP management seemed so unclear to me about every single player and their roles. If
That
they
is for
wanted
sure.
Grace
Yeah.
Harris to open that, sorry,
And that is for
Very
sure. That is for sure.
yeah, I
So
mean,
unclear.
if you wanted, yeah, if you wanted Grace Harris to open, you could have opened with Grace Harris. Somebody
Yes.
like Kiran Navgire, who was performing very well at the opening spot, you suddenly ask that person to go to number three when all other battles of yours is not performing. Makes no logic, makes no sense, but
Point.
somehow it happens. And while Vrinda Dinesh was struggling, but you have to give it that Kiran Navgire in her first year also was roughly struggling initially. Brinda has the shots. It's not like she does not. You have to back people up. And I think the other part which I thought the UP management got absolutely wrong was, so Chamari Atapattu, even if she went, she probably would have gone in the end of Feb and beginning of March for the series, but you did not even use her. And
yeah.
if you then use Talia Magra, then why bring in Georgia Wall and use her? Stick to Talia Magra. If that was your point of view, that we want to stick to the playing 11, I think had it not been for Chanel Henry, I don't know if UP had and one match because of Eccleston. I don't
Mhm.
think UP would have won
Even
any
an
matches.
outside, yeah, outside chance
Yeah,
also.
uh, because the whole team, you could see, the problem is Deepthi didn't even know her own role.
Yeah,
Yes.
She was coming at 3, she was coming at 4.
yeah, four
अरे भाई करना क्या चाहते हो, बैटिंग करना
and
कहाँ है, करना क्या
and
है,
and the
where
switch
is
with then
bowling?
Kiran
See,
Navgire.
exactly, the point is bowling is Deepti's forte. That
Yes.
is her prowess area. That's why wherever you send her to bowl, she'll give you results in some way or the other. And in T20 matches, I don't even think that you should bother about how many runs somebody has gone for. I mean, look at Haley Matthews yesterday. She almost got a purple cap, but actually yesterday she went for a lot of runs.
Yeah,
Mm.
So I think it is not about the runs that she has given away. It is about the whole body language and how clear was her thought process. You could look at Deepti and you can see that when she's batting, she's like, what do I do? And Deepti's biggest problem as a batter is she is so one dimensional for no apparent reason. It's not like she can't play any other stroke, but somehow somebody in her head has spoken and told her you will play nothing but the sweep shot. And it is
Yes.
so I mean, illogical that every single ball that comes to her, she tries to sweep it for no apparent reason. If it goes through, well. If it doesn't, then Deepthi is struggling. Whereas Deepthi can definitely hit cover drives. Deepthi
Mhm.
can hit square cuts. Deepthi can step down and hit sixes and fours. But I don't know. I mean, probably she has herself lost the faith in her batting, and this you have to thank the Indian management for. In a sarcastic way, I'm
Yes,
saying this.
more
This
than
you have to thank
franchising.
the Indian
Mhm.
management for.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely, because somebody who used to open the batting is
Mm.
was going at number 8 for a long time. An opener and a number 8 person does not have the same job. So if somebody is
Yes,
stupid enough to make that change, then well, that is what
yes,
happens.
yes, 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 absolutely. Okay, okay. The rating, Naman rating and Trisha the rating out of 10.
Two.
This season, yeah, it was very tough
Yeah,
for her. I think I'll also give somewhere around 3 or 4.
yeah. Okay, okay. Moving on, Trishadi now is the winning captain, Harmanpreet Kaur. You know, obviously, yeah, she have won the title. I think she did decently with the bat also, especially in the
Yeah,
eliminator and final.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she did
Two
well.
Mumbai
important
She,
Knights,
knocks, two
yes, yes,
important
Mumbai Knights.
matches. Eight
yes,
point five,
absolutely.
eight point
Yes,
five.
but fitness is, I think, is a concept.
But fitness is not in Harman's hand directly. It's not like
Yeah.
she can do anything about the knee until and unless I don't know who is looking after the knee and what is the exact problem. Because
Uh,
now, I mean, obviously, Harman is not someone who is close to me for me to know exactly what's going on, and it's not there in the news. Um, but Harman has always been someone who has scored in important knocks. I mean,
yes,
important matches.
yes.
She does get scores.
Mm,
Unfortunately, in most of them, she has not converted those into match winning knocks, but that several factors depend on it. Having said that, I think she played a top knock, both in the eliminator and
and final.
in the finals. Ultimately, that is what matters. But if you ask me, why am I not giving her a 9.5 or 10? Why am I saying it's 8, 8.5? One, I mean, people can abuse me as much as they want, but the truth of the story is, I'm sorry, but she wasn't very good with the captaincy either. Because in franchisee cricket, unfortunately, you could see that Haley Matthews is setting up her own field. There are certain places where I thought Harman could have been better with the bowling changes, but I will give her that point five extra from 8 to 8.5 because of the Shamni Ismail over I mean, in the final game. But other than that, her batting, uh, in whichever innings she batted, she did well. But the whole, I mean, ideally, I would have given her 6.5. And straight up, it goes to 8.5 for the last two games. Because they're your knockout games, the most
Yes,
important games. That is
Rishabh.
where you have played two
Mm,
very important and crucial knocks. So that adds up straight away 2 marks and you go to 8.5.
yes. Naman, 8.5.
8.58. I mean, we can range it. She won the title in the end. It's that what it matters. Uh, I'll just quote what Charlotte Edwards said in the press conference, that she is the best player in the world when she is at her best. So, yeah, I mean, she did her job. She came in at a crunch time for Mumbai yesterday, and she scored uh, some beautiful strokes. She scored when. Meg Lanning put in Sutherland, sorry, Annabelle Sutherland, she scored 4 and a 6 to her, and it was around the extra cover region. Then Meg
Mm,
Lanning brought in Jess, and she
that's
tried
correct.
to, yeah, she placed Shefali Verma at that point, extra
Definitely.
cover region, and Harmanpreet Kaur still found a way to like uh, place it in the gap. Shefali couldn't reach it. So I mean,
Mm,
as a batter, it's what she did in the final phase of the tournament was exceptional. She stood up for her team. She knew that the middle order was crumbling without Nats give up run performing
yes,
or her performing. It was crumbling because Amelia Kerr was not playing well. Yastika Bhatia, if brought down, wasn't. I mean, small cameos, that's it. And then you cannot put all of the burden with an emerging player like Amanjot or Kamilini. You cannot put all the burden in situations like this. And she stood up well. So that is what I'll give her the points for. Because as a batter, she stood up for her team. She performed. She's at 36, like Trisha ji said, that you cannot manage
Mm.
your fitness at that level. The injuries at that level, it can come and go. She is like at the end of her career. So that is going to stay with her. You cannot change that. Captaincy wise, she led the team to the title, defeating Meg Lanning, who she hasn't been able to defeat at the international stage. I think that is a plus 1 point I'll give her for that.
That is
No,
the
I mean,
best thing has
I
happened.
know a lot of people are saying that she has defeated Meg Lanning, but you have to understand Meg Lanning with Australian players and Meg
Yes, a
Lanning with
different,
these
yeah.
bunch
Yes,
is different.
definitely.
The other
Yes,
thing is,
absolutely.
Naman said, she's 36 as Trishadi. I was like, no, I'm
No,
not
no, no.
36.
As Trisha said. No, no, no. Yesterday
Sorry,
also
sorry,
she.
sorry.
No.
Okay. Moving on. Next player, very important player for Indian setup, and we had a very high hopes. I will say Jemimah Rodrigues, but she had a very disappointing season. I think she had a very disappointing season, especially for a DC fan like Trisha. I think so much expectation, and we, as an Indian fan, it was expected that this might be, Jemimah's season, Jemimah's WPL season, but it didn't turn out to be like that. Trisha, first, Jemimah
I'll I'll
Rodrigues.
I'll just ask Tushar one more thing on this on these lines that Jemima was demoted down the order below Jess. Did that play on her mind in a way that okay, the captain
Yeah,
is
I
also
think
not
again,
trusting me?
yeah, I think absolutely. You will see Jemmy thrives under someone like Smriti because she
Mhm.
knows that Smriti has complete faith in her. Having said that, Naman, when you are playing in a team, you can't always hope that the boss will be backing you.
Way back.
You're the coach and captain are basically the boss, right? So it's not like you are going to perform only when they back you. I think
Mm.
Jemmy had a number of chances to be the hero, but she she was trying too hard to be someone she isn't. If Shafali Verma wants to become a Jemimah Rodrigues, then she gets out like she did yesterday. In the same way, in the entire tournament, Jemimah has done the same thing. I mean, yesterday the brief innings that she played, a 19 ball 30, it was such a sublime innings. Then you have Marizane Cap at the other end. What were you trying to do? Why were you trying to force the issue? And
Yeah.
in fact, in that very over, you have got a boundary. The
Yes.
required run rate was 8.5. It wasn't even like 15, 16, maybe 8.5 pushing towards 9. And that is chaseable. One over, one good over. That's what happened. Marizan Cap had one good over against Saika, and the match had turned on its head.
And
Think
yeah,
Mm.
of this. Had Jemmy been on the other end,
it would
Delhi's
have been.
match.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think for the irresponsibility and for not showing up for the team, because I have huge expectations from Jemmy. I have seen her bat. I think from almost the beginning of her career. So I have seen her, like literally, I've seen domestic matches, and I know what she's capable of. That's why I would give her 2.5, where 1.5 is completely for her fielding. I thought in a WPL where a number of
Yes.
fielders were so poor that I have to go with the trollers when they say that probably school children are better. I think Jemima was one of those people. Yes, I know she dropped a catch, but she has actually taken 2 3 wonderful catches. And for people who do not know, by the way, she has ended WPL 2025 as the most with the most catches. So I think it's 17 or 16, and that's a lot of catches if you consider the amount of catches that have gone down.
Yeah.
So I think that is why I'll give her 1.5. But for her batting, yeah, maybe I'll increase it a little because of that 50 and this 30, and make it another 1.5, so 3.
Three.
But
Yes.
yeah, one thing yesterday I noted, which is why I keep saying that Jemima can be your leader, and which is why this performance is all the more disappointing, is when Jess Jonathan was batting. Definitely, Jess Jonathan is more experienced as in age, number of matches than Jemimah, but uh, you could see that Jess Jonathan was under a lot of pressure. Every single
Mhm.
time she played a dot ball, she was fidgeting. And at the other end, if anybody saw what Jemimah was doing, she was carefully saying, "It's fine. It's just fine. Well done." After every single run, she was talking to every player, be it Sutherland, be it even Marizanika. She was like, "It's okay. It's okay. We still got this. We still got this." So that is the leadership part, which is extremely important. The other part was, as I think in one of the lives I had said, there was a sure shot run out which Charani had missed, and
Hmm.
Jimmy actually was the one who threw the ball, and it was very good throw. But Jimmy got
Glad
up and
that.
said, "No worries, well done." That's what a leader should do. What is the
Yes.
best batting position for Jemmy in T20I? She batted at number 5-2 in previous seasons. This year, she batted at number 3-4. See, the problem is that sports fan. It cannot be 3/4. 1-2-3 should be sacred. One, two,
Six,
three should not be touched. So, Jemmy at 3. For me, Jemima
three,
has to
yeah,
be at number 3.
Any format of the game, Jamie at
Yeah,
three
three.
exactly.
should be.
Red, blue,
Any
green,
format.
yellow. Sorry, no, red.
Any color of ball you are playing with,
Yeah,
she should bat
yeah,
at three.
yeah. Even if it's tennis ball, blue
Then,
ball, red
Yeah.
ball.
Anything.
Yeah,
Even we used to play in school time with a peppermint ball.
paper.
Even
yes,
yes,
that
tape
also.
ball.
Even
Yes,
in cricket, Jemima has to be number 3.
Number three.
yes. Okay, okay. So Jamie is done. Now the next player is Harleen Deol. I think she did good. I think she did good for Gujarat. I think whatever opportunity because first she started the tournament, at the lower order at number
Yeah.
five, number six. She did well in the first two matches, contributed runs, important 32, 34 runs. Then she lost the part a little bit because the batting order changed. She was used at the top order, as an opener. She was tried. Then she batted at number three. But after two innings, she came back and scored important runs. I think she scored a very important 60 or 70 not out also, I think, if I'm not wrong. So
Yeah,
overall, I
yeah,
think she
against
did well.
Delhi.
Yes, yes, yes. So Tushadi, I will come to Naman also. First, Tushadi, how do you see? I think Harman, Harleen. I think Harleen did well. Harleen did well. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Harleen or Herman would mind the change in names. They're very good friends.
Yeah, very good friend. I saw the reel that Harleen brought a piece of cake, milk
Cake.
cake that is for Harman on her birthday. So it was so good to see. Very very good friends there.
Yeah. Um, Let Naman go first. I went
Okay,
first for Jimmy.
done done. Naman, go.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Harleen Deol, this season, I think she did very well. She showed the maturity when required as a batter. She was uh, she was playing down the order. She was promoted up the order,
Mhm.
opening. Then there was a lot of here and back and forth with her position in the lineup, but she still managed to, when she was fixed a slot, she managed to show her best batting and like mature personality in terms of a batter. She went ahead and won a game for Gigi. So, I mean, that shows how well she has done in this season's WPL, and I think she deserves the credit for Gigi to be reaching at the uh,
Yes,
to reaching
absolutely.
the reaching for them to reach the eliminator as well. So that she deserves
Mm.
part of the credit. It's not just Ashley Gardner. So yeah, for me, Erling Deol, I think I'll give her a 7 this season.
Yes, Tushadi, good season for Harleen.
Yeah, I will actually give her 7 because of a little different reason. Same but different. That is because if you look at Harleen's number, so when she was being sent at 5, she
Mm.
actually had a 34 not out of 30 in
Yes,
the game that Gujarat won against UP.
yes.
And then the next game that Gujarat won against RCB,
Mm.
Harleen was sent at 3. She did not perform. I'm just looking at Harleen performing in games that Gujarat won. Like
Yes, yes,
against UP, again, when she was consistently sent at number 3, Harleen scored 45. Uh, sorry. And then at number 3, that 70 not out. So
yes.
basically, number 3, okay. So there will be a fight between Jemmy and Harleen for
Yeah, me
number
and
three,
Dean.
but Jemmy wins
Mm.
straight up. There's no way. I think I would
Yes.
send Harleen at. I don't mind if Harleen comes maybe a little below. Genuinely don't mind.
Number 4.
Yeah, but then Harmanpreet will bat well.
Harman. Yeah. Yes. She might be her best friend,
Actually,
but
why not
number four
open with
Harmanpreet.
Jemmy? Why not
Yeah.
open with Jemmy?
Ooh.
Jemmy had started off as an opener.
Opener,
Jemmy
yeah.
had started off for domestic as an
Yes.
opener.
Yes.
Why not
Mm.
get Jemmy and Smriti to open the batting? Three Harleen, four Harman, five Richa. Uh,
No Shafali Verma.
find it very tough to include her in the team.
Yeah, the name is there in my mind also. We have to discuss about Shefali Verma.
One
So
of
can
my
we can
favorite
we
test
can
players.
we continue? So can we continue?
Yeah, yeah, one of my
Shefali
favorite
Verma.
test players. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it. But it is so disappointing to see that Shafali is also someone that is not able to get that best out of herself. I think, and it's not about Shafali just being my favorite. I think Shafali is such a talented player. You will
Yeah.
rarely get such talent and such guts.
Hmm.
But she has not matured yet. That's the biggest problem. With so many games under her belt, by now she should have matured. See, even
Hmm.
Jemimah has played a lot of match winning knocks,
No.
but you can always say that, you know what, the breaks happen because she's not kept at one position, three, four, five. Even in the T20 World Cup, we saw it was either Harman coming at three or Jemmy coming at three. So as a batter, I can understand the confusion, the change of style. But I don't know, Shafali doesn't need to change her style. All she needs to do is choose the balls properly.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
not that difficult. It
Hmm.
should not be, especially with the kind of experience and exposure that Shafali has got. It's unfortunate. Yesterday when Meg got out, even then
Yeah.
I was like, it's fine, Shafali is there. What was Shafali trying? Even Shafali isn't sure about it. I'm quite sure it was seen in her face that she doesn't know what she was doing there.
I think she hasn't recognized her talent, her potential as others have done.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I mean,
My
when
problem is, and I'm not defending Shafali here, but maybe for a second I will play a devil's advocate. What happens is, this is something that, Naman, I had written I have written in my piece today, where
Youngster.
I've spoken
Hmm.
about three youngsters. I've
yeah,
said there are three youngsters who have mightily impressed me: G. Kamalini, Nikki Prasad, and Kashvi Gautam. But if you ask me, G. Kamalini and Nikki Prasad, I don't see them in the next 2 years in the Indian team.
yeah.
If they do, they become Shafali Verma.
Hmm.
That's my
Hmm.
point. I think Shafali was playing well, but maybe she should have got one more season to mature in the domestic level and then be pulled. I understand what the selectors went for, because if you see the talent, you would know why the selectors backed.
Yeah.
But it is important that she played that one more, domestic game, because she came in so raw that it is taking her so much time to mature at this level that now it has become almost frustrating. That was wrong
Hmm.
with Shafali.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. I mean, this
Yes.
is what me and Snehasis were discussing yesterday. She should have been playing Shabnam on the front foot, but she was
Hmm.
too hesitant to go on the front foot to her that she got herself trapped in
I'll tell
a.
you a ridiculous bit. She should have just lifted the ball over Shabnim's head.
Yeah, that's
She's
what I
very
mean.
good at it.
She was too much in her head
Yes.
at that point that she
Yeah.
got foxed into just edging it out. So I mean, it's a bit I mean
And
sad that
and you know what? I'm sure there has been a lot of talk, and I genuinely feel that Saurav Ganguly must have spoken to her that you need to
yeah,
finish the match. But finishing the
Hmm.
match does not mean playing till the 20th over.
20th over.
Finishing the match means you have to get to the target.
Yeah.
Shafali, if she plays like her own self, she can get to the target in 15 overs, 20 overs.
Yeah,
I mean, 20
definitely.
overs is anyway the amount of
I mean,
overs they get. I mean, 15, 16 overs, I mean.
the roar Harmanpreet gave after getting Shefali out, it was so loud that you could have heard it in the stadium, anywhere
Yeah,
in the
because
stadium.
she was one of the most important
Miss,
wickets.
yeah,
If
that's what I'm
Shafali
saying.
got
Yes.
going,
Yes. Yes.
you would have
That's what
seen
I
the
was saying.
entire DC batting changing.
Yes,
She
yes.
doesn't recognize her own potential. That is
I
just
kind of
delaying
agree
her
with you.
progress.
Yes.
Also, I feel because she's a kid, you have to ultimately understand for everything that she has gone through, for all the matches that she has played,
Which is
she's just 21.
one,
You
yeah.
will not believe. I mean, the amount of time that all of us
Yes,
have
yes.
spoken about Shafali being there, people are
Yes.
like, she's just
Right.
21.
Right. Right now, hearing again that she is 21 years of age, suddenly, oh, right, she is 21.
Exactly. I think somebody also needs to, and I would want someone like a Mithali Raj going and
Mm,
speaking to her and saying that it's okay if you were dropped from the team. Don't take it
mm,
too much to heart and do not over try. You have that talent, just back yourself. I think that is
Yeah.
very important. And she needs that guidance. You cannot, at 21, Shafali might seem like, oh, I know it all. At 21, all of us are people who think that we know everything in our life and we have got everything sorted. You know,
yes.
we are the ones who are going to change the entire country, the face of the nation, especially our house, the game, everything. You know, when I joined my first job, I was like, I am the one who the entire industry was waiting for. Sab badal dungi main. But that is not how it works, right? So
Uh,
I think
But
the
that
most
said,
important part is, yeah, sorry.
no, no, you continue, continue.
Yeah, so I think that is where somebody needs to go and speak to her that this dropping
mm,
from the team, I don't think someone like Shafali will take it in a good way, if you know what I mean. You know, she would be like,
mm,
one day cricket, she might still understand, okay, maybe so and so was wrong. But in T20 cricket, there's no way she can understand. If I was
She
in her
can.
place, I wouldn't have understood at that age.
yes.
I'd be like,
500 plus
excuse me.
runs.
Exactly. I would be like, excuse me, you have the highest run getter there, and the second highest you're throwing me out. What is your exact logic, bro? I would
Yes.
have reacted the same way. And that is where I feel she came in with a lot of baggage. That, you know,
Mm.
I'll have the best WPL season and I'll show you who you have dropped. And unfortunately, at 21, that kind of backfired a bit.
But I
Yes.
believe that having played so much games, so many games at this point in time, having won a tournament at under 19 level as a captain, I don't think she did very great with the bat there also. But as a captain, she managed to secure the victory. But after playing so many games, if I just, I mean, a different sport altogether, but someone like Kylian Mbappe or Lamine Yamal, they came into their team very young. They took the responsibility. They showed matureness even at their downs. If I talk about Kylian Mbappe, he has shown his maturity and came back and gotten his best out again. So this is something I think is missing in the Indian coaching setups and all of those things that you need to teach your players this kind of mentality.
You know
Absolutely.
why? I'll tell you what, Naman. I think a huge problem of the Indian coaching setup, a huge problem, and not all of them, mind you, um, uh, uh, is that every time there is a mistake from the player, or every time something happens, the first sentence that comes out is, "When I used to play cricket, I did so and so." You are never going to
Never.
listen to a coach whose first 4 5 words are, when I used to, because in your head you have already zoned out. You're like, "ये भाई ये
Uh,
तो फिर
this
Renaissance
this
age में
same
चला गया."
this same line applies to the Indian footballers, former Indian footballers also.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why?
it's an Indian culture. It's an Indian culture. We fight to go ahead, but
Yeah.
the moment we see the next generation going ahead, we try to
We try
pull
to
them
pull
back
them.
and want them to
अरे
do
तुम
things
अरे
the
तुम
way
क्या
we
खेल
did
रहे हो?
it.
हम होते तो हम देखते हम क्या
Yeah.
खेलते हम तुम हटा सकते थे क्या ऐसा क्या भाई?
And this also comes from the fact that we want respect. We seek a lot of respect.
Yeah.
And the brashness of youngsters make us feel that, oh, they don't respect us. So we need to tell them how good we were as players, as
Mm.
coaches, as falanas, as dimkanas. And that is where we lose the players. I have seen coaches giving team talk and the team is completely not listening. I asked one or two of the players कि भाई क्या बोल रहे हैं? हम नहीं सुने क्या बोला? And that is not something that you
That's
want, you know.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
very upsetting.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is why I've always believed, you know, teachers and coaches,
Mm.
average students, average players make better teacher and students.
Mm.
If
Yes.
you have been excellent as a player, you are most likely to go two ways. One way is जब हम खिलाड़ी थे, And number
Yeah.
two is, um, you would get a little irritated when a person who cannot do something. Say, for example, if I was Shafali's coach and I was a very good player, I might get irritated. भाई इतनी simple सी तो बात है, इसको समझ क्यों नहीं आ रहा है?
Mm.
But everybody is made differently.
Yeah.
The other part, there is one more part of coaching that I don't know how did this conversation go to coaching, but I think it's a very interesting
Important
fact.
factor. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. The other part of the domestic coaching is, it's a very, I don't know what is it called. It's in Hindi also, na? Pathshala is in Hindi also, right, Naman?
Pathshala. Mm-hmm. Pathshala.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Partial.
It's a very Pathshala approach. Like, everyone sits together and has to listen to the same thing the same way. But I don't think if I tell Snehashish
Mm.
to do something in a certain way and tell you, Naman, to do something the same way, it works.
Yes.
You have to treat every player separately,
Replay.
and you have to, by your actions, by doing something good for them.
Yes.
Bharat Arun did not earn Ishant Sharma's respect just like that. He
That.
said,
Yeah.
it's all right. Just follow my method. If it doesn't work, then it's perfectly fine. He followed the method and he got results, and he started, be like, yeah, Bharat Arun is very good. And I think that is very important, that a lot of coaches, especially because there is a men women factor here. When the men's
Mm.
cricket coaches come to women's cricket, half the time they don't know that
No. No.
the sport is different. They are not able to respect that. And then the other factor comes in, that because I'm a men cricketer who is in women's sport, I should be respected a lot. I don't get respect because women don't respect men. And poor guy, what do I do in the dressing room? Because I don't get respect. You have not earned the respect. Not because of the runs, but because you
Yes.
have to handle them properly. You know, the respect that a men's cricketer would give Virat Kohli in the dressing room, and not comparing anybody, but a Mithali Raj would not get the same, respect in a dressing room with a men's coach, because you're a women's cricketer. And the same goes for a Smriti, Harman.
Mm.
So that
Yes.
that factor is huge, and that's why one of my wishes is, I hope WPL teams get in more domestic women coaches.
Yeah.
Mm. Yes. Okay. I think the top names in the batting department are done. I think now the only name in the wicket keeping
Richa
department,
Ghosh, yeah.
Richa Ghosh. Yes. And Tushadi, you will be the best person to talk about her. So start. I think it's a disappointing season. And I think with the bat she was okay, but I think behind the stumps, I think she had
Stumps.
a very bad season. What do you think, Tushadi?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think with the bat she was okay, not
Okay. Mm,
not in her
mm,
best or something.
mm,
But yeah, as a wicket keeper, there is so much to desire from her. Even batting, I thought she was becoming very predictable. The moment you take pace off the ball, she does not have too many new things to bring on the table. So
mm.
that is where it's a bit of a problem, that the versatility is not there. But yeah, someone like Richa Ghosh will always be saved by the fact that there's sheer brutal power. I mean, the
Mm.
kind of big hitting that she can do. But yeah, I think overall you will say that it's 4.5 to 5.
Yes. Naman, anything to add on Richa Ghosh?
I mean, yeah, she was okayish with the bat. I think when the team required her to perform during the Bangalore leg, I think she kind of succumbed to that. So I think that is something that when the pressure came onto her, like the team started to depend a little more than usual on her, it started to play on her mind, and she wasn't at her best, I think, in the Bangalore phase. And again, she's just 21 year old. She hasn't even played that much amount of international cricket as Shefali. So that
Mm.
is also something. I mean, she also needs time to mature as a player, and that again comes back. The story goes back to the coaching setup, that how they are uh, evolving the players, how they're grooming the players to grow into someone like Elise Perry, or like people like them who have done it at a international stage, because that kind of mentality requires different kind of ball game.
Yes, yes. Okay, so batter's done, wicketkeeper done. But I think when it comes to the all rounder, or maybe you can say the bowling department, I think it's a worrying sign, Tushadi, because your top start, top, playing 11 bowlers, the bowlers that play for Team India, like no, Shikha Pandey is not there. I'm saying that like Tita Shadu is getting Arundhati Reddy, Renuka Singh Thakur, Tanuja Kanwar, we can say. I think among these names, only Tanuja Kanwar and Renuka Singh Thakur played, for their teams, for franchises. But the others names, are getting hardly any chances to be in the franchise playing 11. So that's a very concerning thing. How do you see the whole thing? Because they are hardly getting chances, to give that proper balance to their franchises. But they are one of your prime fast bowlers or spinners for your country. So how do you see that, Rishad?
In addition to that, Pooja Vastrakar is also out injured.
That is a
We
completely
have
different show
Ashwagandha.
we have to do. I think that is a very completely different show we have to do. What BCCI and the doctors are doing. Who are the doctors? We have to found that first of all.
Yeah,
The
that's the
injuries.
important part, and I think
Yes.
we'll tell Boriada to send one of us to Bengaluru at least to find out कि हो क्या रहा है एनसीए में ये.
तो फिर वहां तो
But
बहुत सारे बॉलर्स की बात निकल आएगी.
um,
Trishadi.
I think for me the most important part is look, with Titash, I understand why she did not get a
Mhm.
chance eventually in the tournament. First game, I
Hmm.
did not, initially, I did not
Yes.
understand why it was Shikha and Arundhati and not Titash.
Hmm.
Um, I think we obsess too much over all rounders. One in
Hmm.
the team is understandable. Two, if you get very good, but you won't see an Australian team giving up on a good single dimensional player for an average all rounder. That's first
Yes.
things first. And I think Natsivar Brunt has actually shown how T20 can be dominated without being. Because I saw one of the comments saying that, you know what, our batters don't have the power. They don't need it.
Hmm.
You need gaps, you don't need power. But to be honest, I think Renuka, we always know, and I think Snehashish and I have discussed this in number of times, that if there is any help in the wicket, if there is any purchase in the wicket, she
She
is
is a top bowler.
dangerous. Yeah,
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
there's no purchase in the wicket, absolutely flat. What is the biggest worrying sign for me is completely different. I'm not even worried about power play. We still
Hmm.
don't have a death over bowler.
Dead over bowlers. Absolutely. With the old balls, it's very difficult to find
We
anyone.
don't have a death over
Hmm.
bowler, and we don't have a death over spinner other than Deepti, and Deepti also has had a flat
Yes. Maybe
confusion.
Shriyanka has some game.
Shriyanka played in
Yeah,
Asia Cup and
yeah,
then she had a
maybe, yeah. She is also, in that Bengaluru
yeah, but
case.
we can't count injuries because see,
Yes,
Shriyanka
yes.
before the injury was in top form. After the
Mm-hmm.
injury, you never know because there's an ankle injury and it's not easy. If you think that, look at PV Sindhu, she came back from an ankle injury and look at how difficult the journey has been for her. An absolute champion shuttler, but you can see that it took a lot of time for her to get back to anywhere close to her normal game,
Yes,
or the natural game. Sorry, um, and that is where it is extremely concerning, and that is where this title of the show comes from. That if
yes,
WPL is all about overseas players stepping up in crunch situations, it's actually not directly helping Indian team.
mm,
If you see, because we have not found, as I said, we have not found a death bowler. We have not come up with excellent replacement for Pooja Vastrakar. Kashvi is a work in progress. It's not like
yes,
Kashvi will come and get 10 wickets every match, score 50 every match.
exactly.
No. Having said that, Pooja Vastrakar is a better batter than Kashvi. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Bowling
Yes,
wise, I would say probably Kashvi would be on the same level or a little maybe above what Pooja does. But otherwise, I think you have not got a replacement for Pooja Vastrakar and you have played three WPLs. And if
yes.
you see every single team, now let's take one, two, three teams, right?
Mm,
Um, Mumbai Indians, Their top performers have been Natsiver Brandt,
Haley
Haley
Matthews.
Matthews.
Amelia Kerr, and Haley
Haley
Matthews
Matthews.
with the ball.
Yeah.
Harmanpreet, yes, sure.
A
Mm.
bit.
So one in a champion side.
Yeah.
Now let's
But
go
that's
to
already an
the
established player.
exactly that
Mm.
exactly. So
I'll give
WPL has not
Amanjot
given you.
Kaur also. I mean, here a thing.
Yes, I agree. But Amanjot is making a comeback to the Indian team. I think she
Yes.
will be there in the next series. Having said that, it's not like Amanjot has won you 5-10 matches. She has scored good. She has scored runs when needed,
I
but
mean, she
Been
also
can
with
be
remember,
better.
groomed.
Mm.
but
That's
also
why
remember
emerging
those
player.
runs have been mostly against the likes of Kanika and Kashmir. So you have to keep that in mind while taking nothing away from Amanjot, as I said. So you have Harman who has done like top well, and Harman. It's not like WPL gave you Harman. I think Harman
Harman is
is one
already
of the
established.
reasons. Yeah, Harman is
WPL.
one of the
WPL happened.
yeah.
That 171 against Australia, I think.
No, I
Australia?
don't think. See, look, I'm someone who has always believed that because people have not seen women's cricket for years, they give that
Yeah.
171 a lot more credit. Nothing. That's a fantastic innings, not taking anything away, but you can't take, you know, take it away from a Mithali, Jhulan,
No,
and
no, definitely. Anjum
Smriti,
Chopra.
and then Smriti, and then Harman.
Yes.
Anjum Chopra, nobody can take anything away from her apart from her own commentary. That takes a lot away from her.
Yeah, she did have
You
some.
know, the other thing that I was trying to point out. So let's go, as I said, let's go to the next team.
Yeah.
So DC is the
Mumbai
runners
done.
up.
Yes.
Meg Lanning played some good knocks. Shafali
Here
played
and
some
there.
good knocks.
James
uh,
Jonathan.
Jess
Jess
Johnson,
Jonathan, Marizane Cap.
Cap.
Best.
Yeah, that's it.
So basically Shafali Verma, and again WPL has not given you Shafali Verma.
Yeah, Shafali Verma,
And
no.
and who is not near to the team India currently?
Exactly.
Mm.
Now let's go to the third team, Gujarat
Gujarat.
Giants.
RCB.
Why is
Mm.
Gujarat Giants there? Because
Obviously.
of Beth Mooney, Ashley Gardner,
The Gardner.
Deandra
Chanel.
Dottin,
No, sorry, not Chanel. Sorry.
Harleen Deol. Yes, I
Yeah.
will take
Harleen
Harleen
Deol.
Deol and Kashvi Gautam. So you have
Yes.
basically got Kashvi Gautam. Out of three teams, you have got Kashvi Gautam. And let's take Amanjot Kaur.
Mm.
Tanuja Kanwar. I mean, the WPL didn't
Tanuja,
give her, but
no,
still
but
she
Tanuja
had a.
was there. No, Tanuja has got
Yes.
nothing to do with WPL. I think Tanuja has been a fantastic performer, Naman, in the domestic level for years now.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm not saying WPL gave, but she also had a decent enough
ha ha ha. I
WPL.
agree. I agree. But again, so WPL has given you Ghuma Fire. Again, Amanjot also you can't say WPL has given
Yeah, yeah,
because
obviously.
Amanjot was in the team and then she was
But
injured. That's why
this
she was
a
out of the team.
comeback year, comeback
Yes,
season.
a good comeback for her. So let's take Amanjot. मैं मतलब WPL को बहुत बड़े दिल से दो इंसान दे सकती हूँ तीन टीम से तीन टॉप टीम से
Yes.
and this is over 3 years. DC's playing 11 has hardly changed.
Change,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Mumbai's, yes, it has changed a little with Pooja not being there, but a little.
Yeah.
It's not like it has changed a lot over the years.
Main players have remained the same.
Yeah, even Virat. I mean, Beth Mooney has played 2 seasons because one season she was injured.
Mm.
Ashley Gardner has been there for 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Dottin, because of injury confusion, missed out in the first season. So Dottin, but these are all tried and tested performers. Even someone like Phoebe Litchfield, who's a tried and tested performer in the Australian circuit, has not performed here.
Mm.
And if I then go to RCB has not given you anyone. Straight up.
RCB hasn't given themselves anyone this
Yeah,
season.
exactly.
Yes, yes.
I
They
mean,
haven't been.
I know a lot of people are talking about Kanika Ahuja, and in fact, to my article, I got a few messages that why have I not mentioned Kanika Ahuja? But Kanika is not someone I'm looking forward to. Kanika, I know. In fact, I had expected Kanika to do better.
But she has an
I think
obvious weakness that Tanuja exploited. So
Exactly. So basically, RCB has not given you. Now, if you go to UP Warriors, you
no,
can
no.
say Kiran Navgire, but
Uh,
I don't think Kiran Navgire is someone you did not
Kranti,
know about.
Kranti.
Kranti, yeah.
Shweta Kadavar.
Kranti.
Shweta Shetawat.
Shweta Sehrawat also, I agree. But
Mm.
these are not your immediate India players.
Yeah.
Nah.
And the only huge immediate India player that you had in your side, Deepti Sharma, who was the vice captain in the series just before WPL. So I
Yes.
don't know. I mean, whether WPL currently is helping you in the future, sure. I think 5 6 years down the line, maybe I'm sure it will help. But currently, no.
Mm.
Benefits might come a bit later, but it requires a lot of efforts to the grass at the
Correct.
grassroots level.
Exactly my point. So WPL, when people say that IPL did so and so for men's cricket, but do not forget that along with IPL, men have Shahid Mustaq Ali, Vijay Hazare,
Vijay
Yes.
Ranji
Hazare.
Trophy,
And
Duleep Trophy.
exactly. And in IPL auctions, when team picks a player, they picks on the basis of their performance. Syed Mustaq
Domestic.
and all. So the
Yeah.
performance domestic competition is very much needed because they play
Yes.
around India
But
in every ground.
you can only perform when you have domestic matches. No, you just have to
Yes,
win the
that's
match.
the point in women's cricket. Yes, in women's cricket,
And
that's the huge. Mm.
I've been making this point from the time I have been given a platform to make a point that you cannot have 7 8 T20 matches and 7 8 one-day matches in an entire year if you're
Yes.
not playing age group cricket, and for teams that do not play say the quarterfinals and all that, you are playing 7 matches in an entire year. इन 7 मैचेस क्या ही कर लोगे आप, क्या ही प्रूव
Yeah.
कर लोगे आप, कहाँ ही खेल लोगे आप. एंड देन WPL में 8 मैचेस, तो आप बेसिकली पूरे साल में 15 T20 मैचेस खेल रहे हो. ये लोग
हम्म.
शायद मुस्तक अली और ये सब मिला के इससे ज्यादा खेल रहे हैं ना.
सही बात, एकदम ही सही बात. और जो बात हम लोग बहुत टाइम लाइव में कर रहे थे WPL के टाइम की, जो कैचेस जो ड्रॉप हो रहा है, नाइट गेम नहीं होता है, इसलिए मैक्सिमम मैचेस जो होता है डे गेम होता है.
करेक्ट. हम
हम्म.
बोलते हैं कि पेसर नहीं है. अनदर पॉइंट दैट
हम्म.
स्नेहाशीष एंड आई हैव बीन
यस.
डिस्कसिंग, the
हम्म.
pitches that are provided for domestic games are slow pitches.
Yeah.
And you will see, Naman, most of the time, the spinners opening the bowling. They are bowling
Hmm.
death overs. They are bowling middle overs.
Middle
अबे
overs.
पेसर होगा कहाँ से, पैदा ही अचानक से कहाँ से
सही
हो
बात.
जाएगा, उसको तो चांस चाहिए ना डोमेस्टिक में.
Definitely.
So
सही
a
बात.
lot needs to change. You cannot just say yeah WPL is there, हो गया भाई, हमने सब कर दिया. I think for WPL to be effective, you have to do more and more work right at the beginning and the grassroots level.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But that was the main discussion today. That as a brand, WPL might have improved a lot in 3 years, because as I mentioned at the start of the show, that a lot of people have engaged. They are showing interest and all. That is very good sign for the women's cricket in overall in India. But overall, when it comes to the individual players, like your top players in Indian setup, is it helping? Or you can say that have taken this stage to their effectiveness that much. So I think that is the main point going forward, and hopefully, as we all discussed, that hopefully they will take in a positive way all the mistakes that have gone through in last 3 years, and hopefully they will come up with better, much better plan in the next coming seasons. So that is for now. Thank you, Trishadi. Thank you, Naman. Right. So the WPL season 2025 is done. We'll be come back for the next season, but in between, obviously, we will do shows for the Team India matches, and that starts with the Tri Series. It's between India, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. In
Africa.
Sri Lanka, I think it's happening by the end of April, if I'm not wrong. By the end of April, I think the matches are going to start, and obviously, that is going to be a huge series considering the World Cup in few months later in India. I think the conditions will not be that much of different, right, Tushadi? Because the tournament happening in Sri Lanka, so we expect the conditions will not be that much of different. What you
Absolutely.
are getting, yes, what you are going to get
Absolutely,
in the
and I
World
can
Cup.
see a few names there, which could
Yes.
you can see a few comebacks.
Mhm.
Amanjot, Sneh Rana,
Mm.
Kashvi. I'm definitely seeing there.
Seeing them.
Interesting to see who will be the opener for T20s. But this in one day, I think, yeah, one day I'm interested in seeing Kashvi. Sneh Rana should definitely be in there as a spinner.
Mm.
Um, and yeah,
Yes, and the
M
most important
Sharani and all
England
those.
series is also there. England series is
Yeah.
also there.
Yeah, very important series.
Very
Very,
important
very
series.
important series.
यस ओके थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग सो मिलते नेक्स्ट लाइव में और एक वुमेन्स क्रिकेट के शो के साथ तब तक के लिए थैंक यू गुड नाइट एंड टेक केयर